of my own. "Any markings on the car?" I asked. "Bumper stickers, dents, anything at all?" She shrugged. "I mostly just saw it from the side, and like I said, it flew by super fast, for a Suburban. I didn't see the license plate or anything." "How about the driver? Anything you noticed? Was there anyone else in the car? More than one person?" She fiddled absently with one of the thick silver rings in her eyebrow, while she thought about that. Her makeup was heavy and mostly black, except for the pale white cast of her face powder. I didn't know too much about Bettina, but she put me in mind of the urban vampire culture I'd investigated a few years back on a case. One thing I'd learned then was how sharp some of these people were, despite the goth slacker stereotype. Finally, Bettina shook her head. "I want to say it was a woman, 'cause that would make sense, right? I mean, Jesus shit, we're talking about that fucked-up Hollywood stalker wench, aren't we?" "Don't bother to lie, I know it's her. One of the other cops told me already." I didn't respond, letting her think some more until she shrugged again. "Blue Suburban going like a bat out of hell, left turn, that's all I really know for sure. That's my final answer." The fact that she wasn't inclined to fill in details actually boosted my confidence in her. It's incredible how many people do the opposite, sometimes just to please the interviewer. A few minutes later, I thanked Bettina for her time and help, and let her go. Then I found Jean Galetta to tell her my thoughts. We met in an unused guest room on the second floor. Jean told me that another hotel patron had corroborated the story. Around 2 o'clock, he saw a large, dark blue SUV tearing out of the parking lot from his room on the 3rd floor. He couldn't see too much, but he said it might have been a woman driver. "That doesn't mean it was Mary Smith," I said. "But if it was, this would be huge for us. At least 2 people saw the same vehicle leaving in a hurry." Jean nodded silently, weighing the idea. "So then the $64,000 question remains. How big do we go with this?" There were risks either way, and I puzzled it out loud, partly for her and partly for myself. Time's not on our side. Mary Smith hasn't shown any signs of slowing down. Just the opposite, in fact. She seems to be evolving. This is a chance to use the press to our advantage and speed up the search, if that's what you want. On the other hand, people are already scared and they're going to react to every blue Suburban they see, probably to every blue SUV. If this blows up in your face, then it's one more reason for the public not to trust the department. But if it gets you to Mary Smith, then everything's okay and you're a hero. "Russian roulette," she said dryly. "Name of the game," I said. "By the way, I don't want to be a hero. Goes with the territory." She finally smiled. "America's Sherlock Holmes. Didn't I read that somewhere about you?" "Don't believe everything you read." I could almost hear the clock ticking inside Jean's head, but maybe it was her heartbeat. "All right," she said, looking at her watch. "Let's do it up. I'm going to have to clear this with the department, but if I go now, we can get in a press conference before the early news." She paused at the door. "Jesus, I hope this isn't a mistake I'm making." "Just go," I said. "Come with me, Alex. Okay?" "Okay," I said, in spite of the Sherlock Holmes remark. Chapter 66. This was big. No doubt about that, anyway. Even James Truscott was on hand. The news conference on the Blue Suburban got covered by everybody and their big brother, and was sure to be the lead item on every report until something else even more dramatic turned up on the L.A. murder case. Hopefully it would be the capture of the Suburban, and then Mary Smith, male or female. I didn't appear in the small group on camera with Detective Jean Galetta, but I met up with her minutes afterward. She was getting atta-girls all around, but she broke away to come over and see me. Thanks for the help. The wise counsel, she said. So did I look like a fricking raccoon on national TV? No, you didn't. Well, yeah, you did. Then I smiled. I remember you saying one time, you have to eat, right? You still interested? Jean's worried look returned suddenly. Oh, Alex, not tonight. Then she winked and grinned. Gotcha. Yeah, we could eat, I guess. What are you in the mood for? Actually, I'm starving now. Italian sound good? Italian always sounds good to me. Jean's apartment was on the way to the restaurant, and she insisted we stop. I need to check out my face in my own mirror with lighting I trust and know, she explained. This'll only take 5 minutes, maybe even 7 minutes tops. Come up. I won't jump your bones, I promise. I laughed and followed her into a red brick building somewhere off of Santa Monica. Maybe I will jump your bones, she said as we walked up the stairs to her apartment. Which is exactly what happened as soon as she shut the door behind us. She spun around fast, grabbed me, kissed me, then let me go again. That was kinda nice. But I'm just messing with you, Doctor. 10 minutes, just like I promised. 7. And then Jean scooted down the hall to her bedroom and the lighting she could trust. I'd never seen her so loose and lively. It was almost as if she was a different person away from the job. It took her a little more than 7 minutes, but the wait was worth it. The transformation kind of startling, actually. She'd always struck me as attractive, but she looked kind of tough at work, and definitely all business. Now she wore a silk t-shirt with jeans and sandals. Her hair was still wet from a quick shower, and Detective Jean Galetta seemed softer. Another side of her revealed. I know. I look like hell, she said. Only we both knew different. She hit her forehead with the palm of her hand. I forgot to offer you a drink. Oh, God, what is it with me? We only had 5 minutes, I said. Right. Good point. You usually say just the right thing. Okay, then. Let's go. The night awaits us. The thing of it was, I could still feel the impression of Jean's body against mine, and her lips. Also, I was unattached now, wasn't I? Was I? To be honest, I was starting to get a little confused myself. But she was herding me out the door into the hallway, and then Jean whirled around on me again. This time I was ready for her and took her in my arms. We kissed, and it was longer and more satisfying than the first time. She smelled terrific, felt even better, and her brown eyes were beautiful up close like this. Jean took my hand, and she started to pull me back into her apartment. I stopped her. You just got dressed to go out. She shook her head. No, I got dressed for you. But then I gathered it together, got hold of my senses, and said, Let's go eat, Jean. She smiled and said, Okay, let's eat, Alex. Chapter 67.
At 4 o'clock in the morning, a 22-year-old actress named Alicia Pitt left Las Vegas and headed for L.A. The open casting call started at 9 o'clock, and she didn't want to be blonde chick number 305 in line. The part would already be gone before she even got to read. Her parents' Suburban, which the highly imaginative Pitts called Big Blue, was a gas guzzler without a conscience. Other than that, it was a free ride, so, all in all, the price was close to being right. Once Alicia got some kind of real work, maybe she could afford to actually live in L.A. Meanwhile, it was the endless back and forth for auditions and callbacks. Alicia ran her lines as she drove west on I-10, trying not to glance too much at the dog-eared script on the seat next to her. The familiar ritual continued almost all the way to L.A. Don't talk to me about pride. I've heard everything I need from you. You can't just... Wait, that wasn't it. She looked down at the script and then up again at the road and passing traffic. Don't talk to me about pride. I've heard it all before from you. There's nothing you can tell me now that I'll believe. You can just... Oh, shit. What are you doing, Alicia, you numbskull? Somehow, she had shuttled off the highway and then onto an exit ramp. It brought her down to a traffic light at an unfamiliar intersection. She was in L.A., but this definitely wasn't Wilshire Boulevard. It wasn't anywhere she'd ever been, from the look of it. Abandoned buildings mostly, and one burned-out car sitting on a far curb. A taxi, actually. Then she saw the men, boys, whatever they were, 3 of them, standing on the corner and staring her way. All right, she thought. Don't freak out, Alicia. Just get yourself turned around and back on the highway. You're right as rain. Everything is cool. She willed the red light in front of her to change as she craned her neck, looking for the ramp back onto the highway. One of the young guys had wandered out into the intersection now, his head tilted for a better view through her windshield. He wore baggy cargo pants and a sky-blue sweat jacket. He couldn't have been more than 16, 17. Then the 2 others came along slowly behind. By the time Alicia thought to run the red light, the boys were standing in front of the hood of her car, blocking the way. Oh, great. Now what?
Chapter 68.
She squeezed her eyes shut for just half a second. What were you supposed to do in this situation? And why had she never gotten around to buying a cell phone? Maybe because she was almost dead broke. When she opened her eyes again, the one in the blue jacket was at her side window, a menacing look on his face, a tattoo of a red dragon on his neck. She screamed in spite of herself, just a small yelp, but enough for him to see how scared she was. Then her panic level crept even higher. It took her a moment to realize the kid in blue was saying something, his hands held up flat in a calm down sort of gesture. She cracked the window. What? She said, unable to keep her voice from quivering. I said, you lost? He asked. That's all, lady. You lost? You look lost. Alicia choked back a sob. Yes, I'm so sorry. It was a bad habit. She apologized for everything. I'm just looking for... 'Cause I know you don't live around here, he said. His expression shifted and hardened again. The others laughed at the joke. This your car? Fear and confusion locked Alicia into subservience, which she hated. All she could think to do was answer his question. It's my parents'. The guy in blue rubbed his chin whiskers as if considering her answer. A lot of people looking for a car just like this one, he said. Don't you read the papers? Watch TV? I'm just trying to get to Westwood for an audition, a TV movie. I got off the highway before I was supposed to. He howled with laughter, turning away from the car to his group and then back again. His movements were casual and slow. She's trying to get to Westwood to be in a movie. A film. Damn, that's about exactly what I expected. 'Cause I know you ain't got no interest in anything or anybody round here. Nah, man, said one of the other boys. She'd do her killing in the rich neighborhoods. I got no problem with that, said another. Kill the rich, eat the rich, whatever. What are you saying? She looked at each of them now, desperate for any kind of clarity, a clue about what she should say or do to get out of there. Her wild-eyed gaze fell on the rearview mirror. Could I back out of here? Fast? Really, really fast? Pedal to the metal kind of thing? The kid at her window lifted his jacket to show a pistol tucked into the waistband of his jeans. You don't want to do that, he said. The idea that she could be murdered before she had her morning coffee came over Alicia with an ugly reckoning. Please, please, don't hurt me, she stammered. She could hear the helplessness in her own voice.